we are seeing as demand is not only classical solar, but it's more integrated systems. That's perhaps a new thing. I mean, solar has been growing and has been definitely become a very competitive energy source if you compare it with fossil power plants, and there's nothing new, I think. But what is really new is the integration with storage, of course, and by this new ways are opened to Africa, for instance. And this is a big changer, right? So it's not just the solar module, it's an integrated system. It's a unique solution, basically, where it's much easier to avoid also grid extension and everything to invest into solar sites. I mean, driving the demands is always coming very from the macroeconomics, obviously. It's driving population, it's driving GDP, and that's, for me, so solar does have the potential to make energy more social in a way. It's not just one big utility like in the old days you would provide energy from, but it's more democratic in a way that it can be very decentralized. And this goes along, as I'm saying, with technologically drivers like the evolution of storage. That's once again something which emerged a long time ago, but now with e-cars the technology has become very competitive, and that's what we believe is of major growth. I'm a big believer in collaboration anyway, but working for other industries before, solar is very special about it. I mean, on the one hand side you have the component suppliers, and we are one of those. We are doing central inverters as a part of Körber Group, a 2.5 billion company. But at the end of the day, the components will be part of projects, and so you need obviously for project traditional EPCs to build it, but also financing partners, also insurance companies. So in all, at the end of the day, it's one big community basically, and this is what we also see here in WFES, where the industry is cooperating. And this becomes even more, of course, if the projects are getting bigger. I mean, we're talking about energy. Energy is 1/10 of the world GDP. And if a significant share of this will move from traditional fossil and oil and gas into renewables, it needs collaboration. Yes, I mean, it's not only mobile payment systems, but it's also mobile payment systems. And it's crazy what we are doing nowadays with a phone on the one hand side. We as an inverter company, we love it because, I mean, the data are sitting in our inverters and we just provide it. So we provide the platform basically for new business models. But it's not just the generation, but it's also, again, transmission, distribution. And to balance it, it's perhaps the most effective way also not to consume too much energy, but to make the best use of the resources which we have, obviously. Yeah? So you can balance much better. And for that one, you need data. And for this one, you need digitization. And this is allowing for new business model. There's also very interesting returns for players which have been traditionally not really active in energy. Yeah? And this is opening new ways. Yeah, financial players. I mean, it's also diversifying portfolio. Even, I mean, it depends on the countries, obviously, what also partially policy is doing. But generally speaking, it's not just the classical investor. It can be also a corporation, basically. It's also a thing, I think, which comes with trends and understanding of society of what's going on. And this makes it, of course, also attractive to have a green footprint and to do something in this direction as part of your corporate policy and corporate social responsibility, basically. I definitely, yes, and it will grow everywhere, but the case is very different. When we looked at that, and at the end of the day, it's also for the inverter a little bit different if you're charging a battery fast or slowly. Yeah? But we identified like 40, 50 different application cases, but only a couple of those are making most of the volume. One you were already talking about, it's obviously energy storage for overconsumption at one point of time and under availability of energy on the other side. Yeah? But we also see storage as a technology for frequency control. So not only providing energy and distributing it in the best way to the population, but also taking relief from the grids and avoiding a lot of expenditures we did traditionally, not in the power generation, but in the power transmission distribution, which is now available as money from an economy for more reasonable things. And that's great. So storage is really a bridging technology, allowing for new business models on the other hand side, but also something which is paving the way for green energy, obviously.